Hello, I'm honored that you've given me the opportunity to share some of these ideas with you today. I understand that we are all in marketing and you have different functions, you have different titles, you have different roles. But for today, I would urge you, set aside your current title and see yourselves as Chief Inspiration Officers for your brand, for SAP, because you all represent the brand. When you're speaking to customers, employees, your team, your colleagues, it's at that point, during that conversation, that you represent the brand. What is that conversation like? Is it inspiring? Is it uplifting? Is it motivating? What is it like? I'm a communications coach. I work with companies that touch your life every day. I also write about leadership and innovation and creativity. I wrote a book about Steve Jobs, and what I learned is that each and every one of us has the ability to be innovative, to be creative, to be inspiring, because we are all leaders. We all represent the brand at that moment of a conversation. And what's innovation? Innovation is simply a new way of doing things that results in positive change. That means you and I can be innovating all the time. Within a department, within a project, that's what innovation means, to move the company forward, to move a project forward. What I've learned through studying inspirational leaders is that each and every one of us has the ability to inspire, to get people fired up and excited about what we're doing and what we stand for as a brand. There are three qualities that I think all inspiring leaders share. So let's go through with them. Number one, all inspiring leaders are passionate. You cannot move a brand forward. You cannot move a project forward without being abundantly passionate about what it is that you're doing and the message. But you need to ask yourself, what is it that I'm genuinely passionate about? And it's not always the obvious. Steve Jobs certainly is passionate, but he's passionate about building tools that move society forward, that give people the opportunity to change the world. Steve Jobs once said, "Being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed at night saying, we've done something wonderful, that's what matters." Passion has always played a role in all the research that I've done on Steve Jobs, and I've interviewed people who have worked for Apple and people who knew him when he was a young entrepreneur just getting together with Steve Wozniak. Passion has always played a role. But I want you to watch a clip. It's a clip from 1997. Steve Jobs had been absent from Apple for about 12 years. Some of you may remember this. And he returned to Apple. It was in a really sorry state. In fact, it was only a few months from bankruptcy. I want to show you a clip. It's black and white. It's a little grainy, but I think it's really powerful because he talks to an informal group of employees, and you can tell it's informal because Steve Jobs is wearing shorts. When he really wants to dress up, he'll wear blue jeans and a mock and running shoes. But during this informal staff meeting, listen to the role that passion would play in revitalizing the brand.
Marketing's about values. This is a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. And so we have to be really clear on what we want them to know about us. Our customers want to know who is Apple and what is it that we stand for. Where do we fit in this world? And what we're about isn't making boxes for people to get their jobs done, although we do that well. We do that better than almost anybody in some cases. But Apple's about something more than that. Apple, at the core, its core value, is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe.
People with passion can change the world for the better. That's what he believes. That's what this guy believes. Richard Tate sketched an idea on the back of an airplane napkin. He was a client of mine about 4 years ago. He sketched an idea for a board game in which everyone could excel in one area or another. Some people were better at trivia or music or arts. Can you guess what game he created? Cranium. Walk into Cranium headquarters and you are hit with a wave of fun and enthusiasm and engagement, the likes of which I've rarely seen in corporate America. Now, I'm not expecting every corporate environment to look something like this that you see on the slide in front of you. But what's fascinating about a guy like Richard Tate is that that enthusiasm pervades the entire corporation, from the receptionist all the way to the CEO level. Everybody is passionate about the brand, but Richard Tate is not passionate about a board game. He's passionate about building self-esteem. He's passionate about bringing family and friends together. And so as I talk to people like this, I realize that they are not passionate about the obvious. They're not passionate about the product necessarily, but they are passionate about how that product moves society forward. Let's take a woman like Marissa Mayer, who's Vice President of Search Products at Google, someone who I've interviewed a couple of times for some of my articles in one of my books a few years ago. She loves technology, but she's passionate about search and what search means in terms of driving society forward. So when you have conversations with her, it's very interesting. She's very inspiring because she doesn't just talk about speeds and feeds and technology, but she talks about stories. She's passionate about the stories of people who are using search to improve education or medical care. But again, much like Richard Tate, she's not passionate about the physical product, but about what the product means to her customers and to the world, and to move society forward. So you need to ask yourself, what is it that I'm passionate about? And that's not just a fluffy exercise. I think it's very important because it really is the central focus of inspirational leadership. And if anything, it'll help you get through some hurdles. This gentleman is Bill Strickland. I spoke to him a few months ago. He's a social innovator. He's a founder of Manchester Creative Guild, which is an after-school program for underprivileged youth in Pittsburgh. And he said something very interesting about passion. He said, you know, Carmine, passion will not protect you against setbacks. Passion will not protect you against setbacks, but it will ensure that no failure is ever final. So what is it that you're passionate about?